Kaya sa pagkakataong ito, ako po ay nagagalak na tulungan ang aking matagal ng kaibigan mula po noong 1980s, nung kami batang-bata pa po. At natutuwa po ako na siya ngayon ay magiging sekretaryo ng Department of Finance. Mr. Chairman, I therefore join the chorus of voices here to sponsor and recommend the confirmation of the ad interim appointment of this honorable Batanggenyo, the Honorable Ralf Gonzalez Recto, as Secretary of Finance.
Secretary Recto, while I do not personally know you, looking at your background as a public servant, particularly your time here in the Senate, you definitely have the credentials to understand and perform the functions required of the department. But what is crucial to me is your dedication to the Filipino people. At napakarami ko na pong nakausap na personal kang kilala, and they have only good words for you. At kanina-kanina lamang, narinig po natin si Senator Loren Legarda, all praise sa iyo. Abot langit ang kanyang paghanga sa iyo. Ganon din po kami lahat dito ngayon.
Sa katunayan nga, kilala po siya dito sa Senado bilang numbers genius. At hindi ito may pagkakaila ng kanyang dekada at kahangahangang track record ng pagsisilbi sa bayan. Sa madaling salita, walang matigas na suliranin sa tinik na senador.
Johnny T. Pimentel, Grace Po, Ramon Bong Revilla Jr., Rafi T. Tulfo, Joel Villanueva, Cynthia A. Villar. The chairperson is present.
With 18 members present, the chair declares the presence of a quorum. Majority Leader.
Mr. Chair, I move that we defer the consideration and approval of the journal of the plenary session held on 12 March 2024 until the next plenary session of the Commission on Appointments.
There being no objection to the motion, motion is approved.
Mr. Chair, may we now proceed to consider the recommendation of the Committee on Finance on the ad interim appointment of Mr. Ralf Gonzalez Recto as Secretary, Department of Finance.
There being no objection, the motion is approved. The confirmation is in order.
Mr. Chair, I move that we recognize the chairperson of the Committee on Finance, the good gentleman from the province of Cavite, Senator Ramon Bong Revilla Jr.
Our distinguished colleague from the great province of Cavite, no other than Senator Ramon Bong Revilla Jr. is recognized.
Honorable members of this body, my dear colleagues and distinguished guests, I rise to sponsor the confirmation of the ad interim appointment of a highly esteemed public servant, man of exemplary dedication, and an epitome of brilliance and unwavering commitment to public service. With him at the helm, we know that the Department of Finance is in good hands. Secretary Recto is regarded for being sharp as a tack and smart as a whip. Saksi po ang bulwagang ito sa tikas ng kanyang isipan. Through his great attention to details and relentless pursuit of the greater good, many of the measures that this institution has produced have been cultivated and refined for the benefit of the nation. Ngunit bago pa man po makapagpakitang gilas dito sa Senado si Secretary Ralf, ipinamalas niya na po ang talas ng kanyang isipan nung siya'y bagito pa lamang at pinakabatang miyembro ng Kamara de Representante noong ikasyam ng Kongreso. Despite having prominent surname that commanded reverence in his fledgling years, the young Ralf Recto was able to step out of the shadow of his renowned family name and carve his own path in the political arena that is so distinctly his. One could only imagine the immense pressures that come along with having descended from the same line as the great academician, Recto. Sa kabila nito, ipinakita niya na hindi ito hadlang upang makalikha ng sariling marka sa daigdig, naliban sa anino ng kanyang mga ninuno. Napatunayan niya ang kanyang sarili sa mga kababayan nating nagluklok sa kanya sa pwesto, kung kaya't sinuklian nila ito ng hindi pa noong nasasaksihan na mainit na pagtanggap at suporta sa kanyang distrito. Matagal na po natin siya nakasama dito sa Senado. 4 na kongreso. Kung kaya't ganun po kalalim ang aming pinagsamahan at isa po ako sa buhay na saksi ng kanyang angking husay at galing. Sa katunayan nga, kilala po siya dito sa Senado bilang numbers genius. At hindi ito may pagkakaila ng kanyang dekada at kahangahangang track record ng pagsisilbi sa bayan. Sa madaling salita, walang matigas na suliranin sa tinik na senador. He is formidably armed to take on the role now as the Finance Secretary. Mr. Chairman, Mr. President, it is an honor to endorse this to the Commission to give its consent on the confirmation of Ralf G. Recto as the Secretary of the Department of Finance. Likewise, wholeheartedly urge our esteemed colleagues to support the confirmation of the appointment of the Honorable Ralf Recto as Secretary of the Department of Finance. Let us come together to embark on a journey towards a brighter future for every Filipino, entrusting our nation's economic future to capable, competent, and credible hands. Maraming salamat po.
Maraming salamat, Senator Bong Revilla.
For Secretary Ralf Gonzales Recto of the Department of Finance. Coming from the distinguished Recto clan of Batangas, Secretary Ralf G. Recto.
Mr. Chair, may we now recognize Senator Legarda for her seconding speech.
Our distinguished colleague from the provinces of Antique,
Laguna, in the city of
the
Malabon.
city of Malabon,
And
Laguna.
Batangas.
That's correct. And Batangas, of course. Senator Legarda is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Mr. President. It is with distinct honor and privilege that I co-sponsor the ad interim appointment of Secretary Ralf Recto as a head of the Department of Finance. Having the opportunity to work closely with Senator Ralf Recto, Secretary Recto, for 2 consecutive terms in the Philippine Senate during the 16th and 17th Congress, I can attest to his unmatched dedication to public service and his remarkable wisdom. Together, we've championed laws aimed at uplifting the lives of our fellow Filipinos, from the Universal Access to Quality Tertiary Education Act to the amended version of the Magna Carta for Persons with Disability. Kaya sa pagkakataong ito, ako po ay nagagalak na tulungan ang aking matagal ng kaibigan mula po noong 1980s, nung kami batang-bata pa po, at natutuwa po ako na siya ngayon ay magiging sekretaryo ng Department of Finance. Mr. Chairman, I therefore join the chorus of voices here to sponsor and recommend the confirmation of the ad interim appointment of this honorable Batanggenyo, the Honorable Ralf Gonzales Recto, as Secretary of Finance.
Senator Rafi Tulfo is recognized.
Mr. Chairman, distinguished colleagues, good morning. The Department of Finance is tasked to ensure funding of critical government programs that promote the general welfare of our people. While I'm not an expert on fiscal policies, this much I know. The job of the Secretary of Finance must be given to someone who the people can trust. Yung sisiguraduhin na ang dapat makolekta ay nakokolekta. Yung dapat paglaanan ng pera ay napaglalaanan ng pera. At yung handa kang sagutin tungkol sa lahat ng lumalabas na pera sa kaban ng bayan. I have very high standards for this, Mr. Chair. Secretary Recto, while I do not personally know you, looking at your background as a public servant, particularly your time here in the Senate, you definitely have the credentials to understand and perform the functions required of the department. But what is crucial to me is your dedication to the Filipino people. At napakarami ko na pong nakausap na personal kakilala, and they have only good words for you. At kanina-kanina lamang, narinig po natin si Senator Loren Legarda, all praise sa iyo. Abot langit ang kanyang paghanga sa iyo. Ganon din po kami lahat dito ngayon. So therefore, to make it short and sweet, I give my full support to the confirmation of Honorable Secretary Recto for the welfare of the Filipino people. Salamat po, Mr. Chair.
Maraming salamat, Senator Tulfo. Majority Leader.
For the commission to confirm the ad interim appointment of Mr. Ralf Gonzalez Recto as Secretary, Department of Finance. I so move, Mr. Chair.
Before
Mr. Chair,
yes.
on the part of the minority, we
Congressman
fully support the confirmation of the ad interim appointment of Secretary Ralf Recto for the Secretary of Department of Finance.
Thank you very much. Before I act on the motion, I would be remiss as a dear friend to just say a few words, Majority Leader, about my colleague, my former colleague, and mentor, Senator Ralf Recto. It is my great pleasure to stand here before you all today to sponsor and support the ad interim appointment of a dear friend, a true patriot, and former Senator Ralf Recto to the position of the Secretary of Finance.